All right, so let's just go over that double transformation that we were getting. It was actually from the cage. So if we rotate, you see that the cage is the one that's giving us that double transformation. All we have to do is come here and just delete it. Now that we transform, we will transform only the mesh, and we don't get that double transformation anymore. So at this point, we're done with the character. Like, the character is pretty good looking so far. If we check out like the hips, everything is clean. You know, the thighs, the legs, the ankle. It's good enough, right? Like, it's not bad. Then you have the knees. The knees has 0.5, and then you have the other one as well. It should have 0.5 here too, just in case we can get rid of that redness. And we could always smooth things in that area just to kind of get that really nice bend. We could always add like 0.5 here, you know, and then go back up. Looks like this is necessary, so we can't really do anything about it. And yeah, pretty much it's good like that. It's not that bad. We have a really nice transition, you know. And then let's just mirror one more time before we go, and here we're done. Okay, so let's go ahead and test some deformations with the character. And first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna test it with controllers, making sure that they both move, you know, this way. Yeah, we probably forgot to clean the shoulders, but the legs should work just fine. It has this really nice not sure what's going on here, but yeah, cool, I like it. So the transition for the butt is pretty good, you know, really realistic at this point. The knees, we're getting some weird result here. We can check it, make sure that we don't get that. Yeah, it looks like the knees is somehow affecting this area. I'm not sure why. So let's just make sure that we don't do that. And then the hips, we shouldn't have anything from here, control here. I'm not sure how that happened. Probably forgot. Let's just make sure that that doesn't happen. Just with a weight of 0 should fix it. I mean, at least we don't have anything from the other side, right? So it's good. I always fix more and more as we go. Really nice deformation here for the ankle. Okay, just smooth things up. No, you don't need to go further than that. So is this. Let's make sure that we don't try to like overpower anything that we shouldn't be powering here. Knees. Okay, so this is the kind of like the between the angle and whatnot. Okay, there is a button that could help us go to pose, so that way we don't have to like keep clicking buttons and stuff, you know, moving things manually, just time consuming. So let's just click on the mesh, and one more time, let's mirror skin. Just check it, make sure that we mirror the right version here. Oops. Okay, so it looks like we got it. Yeah, we got it. Okay. But of course, like coming after you're done with the smooth brush, is it guaranteed that would make it perform better. So it's like usually it's a good thing, even though like it might look good in that pose, just the brush is definitely a better, like in the pose itself, it's more powerful of a cleanup. G. Let's just kind of like grab this menu. I wish I could just do this instead, so that way I can have it on my other side. This is the second video, by the way, guys. Kind of forgot to mention that this is the second video for this, and we should be able to have like the character fully done in 2 videos in 4 hours. It's a 4-hour job if we got like a workflow and we got everything set up. Like the naming though is probably the time consuming one, but everything else should be fine. Let's also work on the shoulders. Okay, so the shoulders, we did a very bad job at it, but we did that on purpose. Okay, because we need this to also be red, so we're kind of gonna overwrite that with this, and that's because we want it to kind of like, you know, being controlled from this point. I'm not sure how we managed to not do that on the first go, but it looks like we missed it. Okay, gonna get it right this time. Okay, and we're gonna go underneath the arm just with that loop. We're gonna follow that loop across. It's gonna help us a lot. And now with this we could even like go further, but like, you know, what I'm gonna do with this is that I'm gonna apply a 0.5. So for example, this is gonna have 0.5 on each, so this one right here is gonna have a 0.5 on both sides. Let me show you how. So 0.5, and let's make the brush bigger. We're gonna go from this edge all the way around. See? All the way around. Okay. We're also going to have 0.5 here and there. Okay, so this is a 0.5 joint. Okay. If we did that right and the system helped us, and we were lucky, we're gonna get that kind of result. Okay, so here's the problem. We're getting here some effects or some values that we shouldn't even have in that area at all. Not sure, maybe we mirrored the wrong side at one point that caused this. But we shouldn't have anything like that. And then come back here. This is gonna be a 0.5 and actually not even 0.5, but we're just gonna do a 0.5 here on this side, and then we're gonna flatten that completely. So we're gonna have a red line around this area. Okay, that's fine though. Okay, let's smooth things up. That's gonna give us that really nice look though. Okay, we might wanna kind of like flatten, not go exactly, not follow the edge loop, because like sometimes it's good to have like this curvy effect. Okay, so let's check this one. This one looks beautiful. Yeah, not bad. Okay, let's smooth things here and we can call it done. Okay, let's go back, down, up, shoulder. Okay, make sure that the shoulders have no effect. We might not even need it down here because it's very hard to manage anyways. And just smooth it, and remove. Okay. So we have this really nice effect. Let's go ahead and test it. One, remove this. We can smooth this as much as we want. Like smoothing this is not actually bad, but smooth it with the spline. One, the chest. Smooth it with the chest is better. So go back and forth with the chest. Let it know that the chest is the one that you smooth it to. So when you go back and forth, it's like you're telling it like, hey, I want it to be smooth with this joint, instead of letting it guess. Okay, and then we go down. So now this is the shoulder. This is the one that is responsible for that weird bend that you get inside of the game engine. You really need to be focused on that one. And this is the muscle one. Elbow, and yeah, we're good. Let's go ahead and mirror that. Okay, let's test it on the other side. I can't even see the joint. Okay, we got the same result. That's great. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a go and test it, and hopefully we're lucky. Maybe the orientation is not the best. We need to fix the orientation. We'll see what we need to do here. So let's go ahead and save, and let's go ahead and disconnect this. We're going to toggle this off, okay? Because the orientation of this, for some reason, is not really in my favor at this point. So let's do W, reset, and go to object so we can see the orientation. So this is how the orientation looks like. This one is pointed up, which is the correct way, but this one is not. And for us to be able to rotate this right now is going to be cool, but then we have to de-rotate this one back and move it in place. So let's go ahead and do that, and hopefully we can. So let's see, keep the fit mode on and pay attention to what goes around in here. Okay, so the shoulder, I'm still not happy with it. It looks like this is what I want. Basically, is I want it to rotate this way, yeah. However, now the shoulder maybe and everything else needs to be placed correctly, which is okay because we still have those clusters, right? Or do we remove them? That's fine. It doesn't take too much work just to place them back where they need to be. Just, you know, kind of place them manually. We don't have to rotate a lot. We don't care about the thumbs and everything, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna just focus on the rotation right now. Hopefully when we rotate this one, that one doesn't get rotated with it. Looks like it is getting rotated with it. So definitely we have to find out why this is happening. I think we need to move this backward instead. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna switch this oh, come on. Really? Fine. Zero out. Okay, and just move it forward. Okay, and what that is going to do is going to help us with the orientation. So if we update now, make sure that we have the object. Okay, and so that kind of fixed it. Not really though. I think I might have to do a preferred angle on this one. So if that doesn't work out to my liking, what I'm gonna do is I would come in here and then the preferred angle on the x-axis we need this to be 0, this one to be 0, and this one to be 0. Okay, let's just try some stuff out here, and we're gonna grab the whole thing, center it where it needs to be centered, which is right here. That's fine. Just go ahead and rotate this way. And if we have this is on, it should automatically like fix the orientation for us. However, because this is actually not bad, okay, well, we're gonna keep it like this. Let's check the pool vector. Make sure that we didn't break that either. And now we can just move them in place because it looks like we moved them, but we did them correctly, but we moved them not along the fingers, so it's okay. The back and forth thing, we can fix it. We can rotate this easily. This is much easier than the other one. So, not going to be a big issue to fix them. Let's just place them correctly and move on. Just keep an eye on this joint though, because this joint is the one that we need it to be pointing outward, like to the directions of the arm. Which I still need it to be a little bit more. I kind of need it to be a little bit more, but at least I don't have a lot of, like, this is a negative. Like if we put 0 here and then press D and reset it and then just move it outward like that, maybe a little bit more, so we can get the rotation to feel right. Now the pool vector is pointing to the right direction, and we still have a lot of rotation here. Okay, that's fine. Is it possible that we could rotate the whole thing like that? Let's kind of zero out this for just a second and use word mode and just move it down to see how far we need. Okay, so and press W to check it. This is how it looks like, so this is great. Now if we kind of like want that rotation, we need to get it from here like that, so we could get that from here, and then if we want another rotation, we will get it from here, so that way we don't have to do a lot of modifying to this one. Now if we turn this down, press W, we are getting that result that we want, which is too much even. Like, we shouldn't even get it that much, but. And now we have 2 values to deal with. So let's just kind of Control Z and settle on the orientation of this. Okay, so whatever you do here is gonna be your one goal right here. So just make sure that this is facing the right way before you even continue. So let's go ahead and continue with this. That's good. And if we zero out the orientation on this, we can then decide where to place it. But we're gonna have to use word direction and kind of like move it in place like that. And yes, the joint is never gonna be aligned perfectly, but we could still do it. Object, let's kind of rotate this and check it out. Object, okay, yeah, okay, that's great. Not really what we want, but better than what we had before. We can try to rotate things like this, but I'm not sure if this would help us at all, because the z-axis needs to be pointed this way anyways, so not gonna help us at all actually. And we get to where we were before, so it is, I had like a tool that would help me zero out all this orientation quickly, so that way I can start from scratch whenever I have issues like that. And then you would just point it out to how you like first. Just make sure that none of this is rotated, because those are the ones that are causing the issues. Okay. Okay. Now, without auto fit, okay, let's just move things down using word object for now. The axis down, and make sure that you're playing. Okay, so we have to do object right now because he's playing with too many values. We need only y-axis, so we're playing only with the y-axis, trying to get this aligned. Okay, so we're just gonna move things in place with only one axis, but we can't use y-axis anymore, so only on here. Okay, don't use it on here, that would break the elbow. So you need to kind of like choose something to fit you best, like something like that, and then move this one up to kind of like have like a center point between the elbow and the shoulder, like that. That you can do. And then when you auto fit, you would find that the z-axes are pointing upward this way, and then this one is pointed up the correct way, and you almost have it right. But again, we're not going to do a lot of rotation here, so we're just gonna align this like right here. Okay, and yes, you're not gonna have the joint sometime in the center of the elbow. I tried that so many times and it's always breaking the elbow, so it's something that we have to live with, I guess. With the object mode, we could go, as long as it doesn't add rotation, we can go this way, but we cannot. We could also rotate on the y-axis, I think, without having any problems. So on the z-axis you can rotate, that's fine, but So you can rotate on the z-axis just fine without breaking this one. You see? So just in case you need to rotate, you would rotate on the z-axis, get the joint to be centered more to your liking, and maybe like if you even did it this way and then move this backward. Actually, not this one, you move this backward like that. You could do that. You see, AutoFit is on and we're still getting the correct axes. You see? Okay, with this done, we can now move these individually and they will not affect our from here at all. Remember, we're still using the up axes, so we kind of destroyed the orientation here. So for that to work, we have to yeah, let's see. So this is just movements. We're not really affecting any rotation at this point. And then at this point, I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? I want you to be moving this way, right? Like you're gonna rotate that way. Now, after the first one, you're going to rotate this way, okay? Which if I flatten the orientation, okay, a lot of developers don't know this and it leads into an issue. So this one needs to be pointed the other way. So if we zero out the orientation again on this, and then we're gonna say, you know what, let's do word mode, or actually object mode. The z-axis has to be facing this way for that finger, so it needs to be like that way instead. Okay, so let's just move it like that. I would, because like it's adding value for me as I move along, I would turn off AutoFit for now and just move things without rotating. Like I'm just gonna move them in place manually like that, right? Just manually like that. And then now I'm gonna rotate using word mode and actually object mode, because it'll be easier. And just move everything to this direction, so everything is going to be pointed that direction. Now if I placed it correctly, I'm going to have it like that. This one's going to be right here. We should even rotate instead. So if we rotate on the Y, the Y is good. We could always rotate on the Y. All right. And move on the X. Okay. So now if I actually rotate, as you can see here, it's gonna rotate this way. So it's gonna close the finger. Always move this like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and test the AutoFit. Okay, it looks like we got some orientation. The Z is pointed this way, the Z is pointed also that way, and so on. So that finger is good, and we still maintained the orientation for the shoulder. So it's just a little bit tricky, but that's why you don't watch a 2-hour video, because that's usually the video that will teach you things like that. You have to go in details with everything. What did you think? It was a 1-minute video. Let's do rigs. Okay, so you have this done this way. The orientation is not exactly what I hoped for, so I'm just gonna fix the orientation a bit. And hopefully with that is gonna be good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. This one is still not oriented the way I like. So let's go ahead and move it up, more up. And we could actually start moving things down a bit, because no, this is useful if you want to have like a cool cartoony fist, but not really though. Not doing cartoony fist, are we? So it's gonna be nice like that. That's good enough. This is looking great. Again, like the orientation of the first joint is gonna help you correct a lot of issues. But if you feel like there is like the orientation is not working in your favor, that means it has a lot of value that it needs to be reset. And that's when you come in and change those values. Like when those values reach like 200 and stuff, they're most likely you're doing something wrong. Like it's not supposed to go above like 10 or 20, you know, usually, because like it's based on the first one, orientation, you see. So keep an eye on this, is very important. Okay, shoulder is going to have a little bit of a higher value, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so let's go ahead and rebuild. Gonna break the controllers again for us, but hopefully this is gonna be the last time that we're gonna do this. The skin weight is already attached. We don't have to lose skin weight. Only the orientation of the joint is gonna be rebuilt. It's gonna bake back the animation, just like what it did right now. And if we hold the controllers now, which they're more reasonable to manage, and move it up, we get this, which is really cool. But now we have to like work with that 0.5 value that I was talking about, and kind of like mix between like this and that. So having it in that position, I need to have everything here flat. Okay, and then also when I push it backward or when I push it forward. So definitely the skin weight here is too high, because as you can see, it is too high, and this one is too low. So we're gonna do straightforward. We're gonna go with the 0.5 value workflow. Fix this as much as we can, because like we can't really give anybody else the value. We either give this joint or that joint. Nobody else is gonna take the value, and the value goes from here all the way here. Okay, so that's the value. So we're making sure that this specific joint has this value. Okay, and we can lower it in different areas, but we need to make sure that it has that value, and then come back to this joint and then take over this area as well. Okay, there's no one point in this area at all. Okay, and that's when it flips it up, we get that kind of really cool result. Make sure that nothing here has the value of the shoulder and the root. Yeah, so the root, not the root, the chest also is in control somehow. So for example, like we kind of don't want like around the neck, to be affected. So we want to make sure that the root is actually in charge of this. So let's make sure that we have a 0.5 of the root with a smaller brush that is somehow like in charge of this area. Okay, that's pretty much it. So some things are just not meant to move, which is this. Okay, we might even add like red if we have to, we'll see. Let's go ahead and mirror, and if everything worked out right, we should have a better deformation. Looks like we're not getting that deformation. Where's this coming from, by the way? I think it's coming from here. No. Is it coming from here? No. Coming from here? Looks like it's a yes. Okay. So let's just smooth this down. I know I told you not to yeah, it looks like we have to go to none here, and actually we're not going to add it to here, we're going to add it to the chest. So the chest is going to come in and be like, you know what, like I don't like the way you did this here, so I'm going to bring this back, but then I would let you smooth it. You see like how this area becomes more in charge. The more in charge this area, the better it is. And sometimes that is what we want. You can always come back to that right shoulder and smooth things out. Need to tell it where to look. And don't do too much here, because like in the end we don't want to be in charge of the bottom area at all, not even the top. But sometimes we have to try to not give the wrong joint control. And yeah, let's check this area though, because it looks like it's kind of like maintaining too much shape, so we need to like smooth that area just a bit because it's too red. Sometimes we kind of like want it to be flat a bit. And yeah, this is the hardest area in the character, or for the character, but everything else should be a piece of cake. Okay, get the idea. We have a 90-degree angle with no correct shape is good enough, you know. You could do a 0.2 and kind of like do this to kind of like flatten that area, but like you can't really flatten it. Instead, use this And let me show you how this would work. If we did a 0.5 in some areas here, like here for example, we can bring this up. So, and this would help us like maintain the level of the mesh as much as possible. Come back with the chest and smooth, because we kind of like took that value from the chest, we didn't take it from the shoulder. The shoulder was not even in this area anyways. Then come back in here and keep going. Let's mirror this. Actually, let's go back to the main pose and then mirror. Okay. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this should work. Okay. Not bad, right? Okay. It's looking great. Okay. That's pretty much it for rigging. As far as the character, how easy is it to add clothes to the character? Well, not hard at all. So let's turn on the clothes layer. This is an Egyptian pharaoh, and all we have to do, we have tools to use here, but like I'll teach you both. But for this, for example, so if you want to add clothes, we kind of deleted that. So we kind of have to, yeah, so we have like this, which if we worked with this workflow, we could have done it this way, but we didn't, so we don't use that option. Let me just show you how easy this is without like relying on tools, but let's see if we have anything useful to look at here. So this is, if we still had those boxes that was giving us cross transformation, we could have done that, but for now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick the joints. Okay, this joint, that joint, this joint, this joint, and that joint, you know, make sure that we have like the buttons, and then select the cloth piece that we'd like to do here, and go to skinning, bind skin, it's 4, okay, and bind it, okay. Not sure what happened here, but weird. Is it the rig one? I think it's the rig one. Usually when things like that, I have to like freaking reopen. That's when I take a break. But because I'm kind of like recording, I don't want to do this again. These videos are going to be very useful to be watched later on. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this again. We should be able to just copy once we bind. We're just going to use this tool right here. and we're gonna apply, but this is not binded yet, so we need to bind it first. I hope I don't have to create anything here to work with this skeleton. So I'm pretty sure it's a straightforward thing. Let's just kind of like click on the entire skeleton and click on all the cloth and all the stuff and just bind it, because we're going to be copying skin weight, most of it except the eyes. We're going to have to clean them up anyways. So I'm just going to select on all the meshes right here, you know, and then select the skeleton, skin, bind skin. That's it. Now we're gonna go ahead and, because we don't want to create multiple skin groups anyway, so it doesn't matter. Actually, there is a tool that will clean up my green fix. Oh, they have a green fix now. Oh, that's so cool. You remember that issue I was telling you about? They have a fix for that in you right now. Delete unused nodes, remove unused influence, and wait, delete saved UI, delete joint, no, controllers, lips, and use this. Okay, there was a tool that would help us fix the orientation, fix the skinning, but I don't think they have that anymore. That's very useful. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I think it's rebind. Go to bind pose and then rebind. It was rebuild those nodes. Maybe this one. It's probably this one. Yeah, very useful stuff. Okay, so if we check the skinning weight on this, we would find it that is pretty much similar, but we're gonna make sure that it is similar by selecting the source, selecting the mesh, okay, and make sure that this joint has this kind of look to it, right? So this one should apply to it. So we're going to select the source and then shift select the cloth and apply. Now if we check the the cloth, it should match exactly as the mesh. We're going to do the same thing for everything. We're going to click on the source, click on the mesh, apply. Same thing here, boom boom boom. Same thing here. We probably didn't even do the head, so we got nothing to worry about here, but definitely this one, and this one. Okay, so we're done with most of it except the head. I don't think we did skin weight the head correctly. We actually did. Okay, that's great for now, but we're gonna have to do some optimization later. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing here and then the same thing here. Okay, that is great, but we need to kind of like do a mouth area and the eyes right now. So let's go ahead and save this, save scene. And just to demonstrate, like if we try to move the eyes now, yeah, you get things like this. So straightforward, like anything to do with the eyes joints, we shouldn't even have any control over it. So so for now, let's just go ahead and check and see what are those joint code. Okay, so it's for example I right and R. Let's just go to the components editor. No, that's gonna take too much time. Yeah, so I'm supposed to remove influence, which is we have to select the joints and then click on the object and then go to edit influence and remove it. Remove influence. So same thing for this one. Remove influence. Same thing for this one. And also the I don't think the eyes should control the eyelid, but let's look at it how it looks like right now. Looks like this, which is not what we want, right? We just want the eyes to control yeah, the eyes should only control the eyes. So in this case, we're going to be able to look up, down, but have no control on anything else. If we went ahead and mirror skin weight from left to right, it would fix the issue for us, hopefully. Let's see. So skinning, mirror skinning on the mesh, G, G, and G, and G. So right now, if we hold the other joint and move it, yeah, no, it didn't work out the way we expected. We still have to do this. Hopefully I could like select multiple joint and select all the meshes. That would be awesome. Which it actually might have worked. Let's see. No, it didn't. So remove. Or maybe it did, but it didn't do it on this one. Okay, so let's test it right now. Looks like everything is working except on these, so let's go ahead and remove. Okay, so it's saying that it's not connected, but it is. Weird. Okay. Well, maybe let's just do it the other way around. Okay. Let's try it. That's great. Okay, so the eyes worked pretty well, and we don't have face expressions. We can actually create it easily in Maya. We could have like the alphabet pretty quickly done. So if we want it, let's test the head really quick. Oh wow, this is great, right? Except the eyes are not really rigged correctly. Okay, those eyes need to stick to the controllers here. That's an easy fix, I think. And the controls are not even in the right place here. Okay, so there's one more thing to do here. We need to select the joint, or we can select this, then select that, remove influence, and select that, this, remove influence. Okay, so we should be good now. So if we try to, why, there's something, actually, I just saw something. Yeah, it's actually the mouth. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and hide the mesh for a second. This is going to be really hard to manage this without. Okay. I hope the eyes doesn't, I mean, like, I don't know what else that the eye has. Like, this joint seems to be all over the place. Okay, let's try it again. So you would think that this is an aim, but it's not, which we can fix later on. Okay, this is the aim right here. Forgot. So you can like look using this instead. Okay. So the eyes work. Let's check the jaw. Okay, so we're gonna do something pretty cool here. Make sure that from the side view, the jaw is in a reasonable area. So go ahead and save. Go to fit mode, press W and press D. We're gonna have to fix that. Wondering what's going on. Okay, so it should be right about here. Okay. Okay, so we're good here. This is the jaw, and we're just gonna have to skin weight that area to this joint. Okay, so if we could actually just point one for that one. Okay, so it's just gonna be like that. Hopefully you could mirror, because we forgot to. All right. The hell? Feels locked. Oh yeah, we have to add influence to this. So skin, add influence. it should automatically help us, but it didn't in that case. So let's make sure that this one has we need to make sure that this one has 100%. So to do this, I think the best way is to lower the selection. So we're gonna go to selective mode, go to vertices, and kind of like select everything in here. Okay, and make sure that this joint, which is the jaw joint, has 0. So we type in 0 and press enter. Go back to paint mode. Yeah, we might have some issues here, that's not a problem, but better than just trying to fix everything, you know. And yeah, so now we had like this. Okay, didn't really work the way I wanted to, but okay, so let's just fix it, because yeah, I had a feeling that the head is going to give us something to do. Okay, so let's just make sure that this area is covered, right? Maybe like if we use mirror really quick, it's going to help us too. Okay, now let's go to this bone, which is the neck bone. Actually, this is the head bone. The head bone is going to need a 100% on the whole body. So like, I don't know why it has the orange color, but we shouldn't have like an orange color in that area. Okay. Neck area should not have any effect at all on the facial. Okay, what did I click on? You know, if I could, like this hotkey that I click on that gets rid of the paint mode, until I never know what hotkey is it. Like I click on it sometimes and the paint mode just disappears and I don't even know what it is. It's like a ghost hotkey. Okay, so that was easy, right? Let's make sure that we don't mess up things. You know, usually like when you go back and forth between left and right, you end up breaking your model, so be careful. Okay, make sure that you're in pose mode because that could mess you up. Yeah. Okay. So we have the eyes, and probably the mouth is gonna start working. Not yet. Don't get too impressed just yet. Okay, so if we did this right, let's go ahead and isolate. I just hope I don't click on anything on the back, because it's too. Okay, so we're gonna fix this by switching back to pose mode, mirroring, and then I would rotate that mouth to open it again. It's gonna help us see more now. Not really, it didn't mirror correctly. Mirror. That is weird. It didn't probably mirror the first time, but it should mirror the second time. That's not good. That means the facial is not symmetrical. Okay. Let's try to mirror as many times as we need. Get this looking okay. You know, sometimes facial, because of the fact that the vertices are very close, when it mirrors over, you're gonna have to, you know, yeah, so it's not a joint as one-on-one, so maybe this would help. Not sure, we'll see. It might actually work. Let's see if it messed up anything else. Looks like everything is okay. Let's open up the jaw and see if we could find any issues. Okay, it looks like the jaw is not gonna... Yeah, it's not gonna really... So we're gonna have to like do this off the book. Unless we wanna like modify the mesh, which we're not gonna do that. Okay, so okay. Great. So that's free and everything, but it's just not gonna be perfect. We're gonna have to manually do this and not control it not use the mirror weight anymore on the mesh. So this is going to be the last part for this. Okay, so this is out the book, and it looks like this, and that's it. No more playing around with this character. As far as I'm concerned, it's good enough, right? Yeah. Okay. It's not a perfect mirror for this part, but it's good enough, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to bind pose, and we can call it a day on this one. This is pretty much done as far as clothes. It's going to animate correctly somehow, you know? Not perfect though, we still have to do some modifications to the clothes. Maybe like a blend shape or add some cloth to it inside the engine, so it's not gonna always be perfect. But as far as like I'm concerned, the legs, there's also oops, keep clicking on the joint. I'm a joint guy. I would just use this instead. So yeah, we have some kind of like really cool informations. We can still clean it. Like, to be honest with you, this is better because we just need to make sure that it's not intersecting through the legs. So, you know, but yeah, of course we could come in and kind of like smooth things down like that. And do that. And the same thing here. We can have that back and forth thing, you know. And that's just a smooth transition, not too much. No. Yeah, this is the one that I was talking about. So let's go back to bind pose and then rebuild. And that way all the skin weight is assigned correctly. That's the one I was talking about. So basically you just smooth this as much as possible, so you don't get that weird result that we got earlier. Yeah, and then the hips would be also smoothed down. Nothing should be like rough on here. We shouldn't even use mirror on this, so I'm not gonna use mirror, because that was just a dumb move of me, because it's not a symmetrical cloth. So what's the point? You see like how things are transitioning. I can't talk. I've been streaming for 4 hours straight. Sorry. This one should have nothing, and this one either. Okay, let's check out the feet really quick. So the feet is good. Yeah, the feet is definitely good. We don't need to do much to the feet, but just in case, we're gonna do that. just to smooth things out in that area, but besides that, we don't care. We already basically told it to use the skin weight of everything except this cloth piece. So this cloth piece, we're gonna have to do some skin weighting to this, especially to the head area. We want it to kind of be stiff on the head, so whenever you move the head, but like we're gonna keep it to that degree. We're not gonna do too much smoothing. We're just gonna kind of apply that transition effect, but we're not gonna really change a lot to it, because I like it. Like it's not bad. It just like it has like this really tough area, like this, for example, like roughness or the hard bend in certain areas. This is not really good. I would paint this area to match, but I'm just gonna rely a lot on the transition here and trust it, because I know that Maya doesn't do such a bad job with copy skin weight. So the skin weight is correct, but it's just too rough, you know, that's all. So let's go ahead, and we could probably mirror this. I think we can. Hold on a second, let's just make sure that we mirror the correct thing here. Yeah, we just did. We just mirrored it. That's great. Actually, we were supposed to work on this side. And apply, and that's it. Okay, so this one, I'm not gonna make, we're not gonna, the jaw end should be 0. So we need to remove any jaw, and then the head as well. The head, we're just gonna smooth it like to the point where like it does have effect all the way down, and then just mirror it to kind of like have that symmetrical look. The main head is gonna be like that. The neck area is gonna control most of the, most of it. And then the chest area. Why is the chest controlling this? Well, remember, we copied the skin weight, so I'm pretty sure there's a good reason for it. Not gonna like act like not there is. Okay, so let's just remove the ear from this. So we're gonna select everything. Select everything, go to component editor, and make sure that for the jaw, the jaw, like we don't want the jaw to control anything, to be honest, in that one. So we're gonna put 0. We remove the jaw. We don't really need to remove influence, it's not to that extent, but so far so good. Okay, don't use the joints. I keep using the joint. Alright. Okay. Alright, so it's looking great. Alright, and we have a full control rig in 4 hours. Chilling and having fun, and we were able to pull this off. Okay, so let's save this. Character is now rigged, and if I get a lot of feedback on this, I would make an animation one where I could show you how to create custom controllers and how to animate very fast. But let's see the kind of reaction I would get from this video. And based on that, I would decide whether or not we need that that next gen of this video. But like I think pretty much we covered the rigging, which is good enough for us to take it straight inside of Unreal Engine and work from there. We just need to export it. But right now we covered how to use the tools to help us, but still we had to still come in and fix and clean up the skin weight. There is no you won't find a tool, no matter what program you use, that would give you a 100% accurate skin weighting. And the orientation is if you don't do the orientation correct, you're gonna end up with a channel that has like rotation value in it. So make sure that you set that up. If you don't, like, if the tool does it for you, that's good and everything, but like sometime it would increase the orientation value more than it needs to be. So like, remember, like, the orientation value is based on your first joint, so it goes all the way to the parent hierarchy joint, and it continues down to the chain. So it's like, if your first joint was correct to begin with, then you should not have any problems like we did in the shoulders, and we were able to fix this, and now we're getting this really nice, you know, transition in the IK. So we're able to like raise the arm pretty much all the way. We could even fix that more. We can fix it more by you know, adjusting the skin weight maybe, or applying something called correct shapes, which I could probably cover. Yeah, we still have 30 minutes, so I'm gonna cover correct shapes. Okay, but let me just save really quick, because this is an entirely different story. Okay, and let's just rebuild the bind pose and save. Now this rig is capable of being used inside the game engine as is, but if you're planning to put your hands up, it's gonna look funny. Okay, like, you can play with your skin weight as much as you want, but like, you're never gonna get that really good deformation unless you're willing to take the next challenge. Next challenge is correct shapes. Correct shapes are gonna be found in somewhere here. Let's see. Motion controller, create a human IK. Nice. We're gonna look into that. Unreal joints, we can create it. Look into that later. Tools, okay. So the correct shapes are gonna be found in here under kind of forgot, but let's see. In cage, topology, no. Okay, custom controllers. I'm sure like where it is, to be honest. Splash motion, control curves, control mesh. A control mesh, I think. Is it this one? I don't think this is it. It was like a huge section, but it should be under tools, maybe. No, nope, not under tools. We passed it. So it's mesh control, control mesh, colorize mesh. No, what is it? I'm gonna have to look into that, because I kind of painfully add influence object. Okay, that is very useful, but that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look into that eventually for you guys and prepare it, because don't even remember where it is. That is sad. Okay, is it this one? No, that is cool though. Actually, holy shit, 1 second. I need that. I need a skeleton for this one actually, because this is actually for a video game. Oh, let's see. This should be useful. Let's see how it looks like. Oh, why always not perfect? Not perfect at all. Okay, but at least I have the skeleton inside the body, which is pretty cool, right? Which I can like transition between the character and the skeleton. I could even export them both in separate, and then have like the mummy return kind of fucking effect, which is cool. Alright, yeah, we're gonna keep that one. We can always delete it for now. Let's delete it for now, okay? But I want to make first, that is cool. Muscles, polyboxes, just go over, no, that's not the one. Mannequins, no. Retopology, no. And it's probably here somewhere. What about this one? Cluster. There used to be called correct shapes. Not sure what they're called right now. But it's probably in this section. You see there this section. Nice. There's so many things that have been added to the software, which I'm gonna update it even. Cool. Okay, so it's not this at all. Engine create motion joints. What are those motion joints? Root. Oh, okay. I'm gonna need that one. So let's go ahead and create that one. Shift to joint. Scale behavior. Yeah, okay, so the scale behavior doesn't work without it. Custom orientation, front axes. Nice. They added a lot of controls for game engines in this plugin. I'm glad that I showed you guys this. So many things, but they probably moved correct shape somewhere because I can't find it. So this is face, this is game. It's not really like something happened to the correct shapes. Yeah, right here. Okay, so this is straightforward. Okay, and it is here. You basically select the create correct shapes with. Okay, it doesn't show you how, but like you just basically select the controller and then you okay, so bam or bam. Okay, fine. What? The values are in the pose. Go to binding pose. Okay, so yeah, I remember you select this, you select that, and you click create. This is not an object. Wait a minute. Okay, fine. Let me just recap really quick. This is not good. There's a lot that I would like to show here. Oh, we have to pick the channels. Okay, I see. So here's what we're gonna do, okay? So we're gonna pick the controller, we're gonna rotate it like that, which is 90 degree. Okay, let's just do 90. We could increase more later, but we're gonna do 90. And then we're gonna create correct shape from this and that and create it. We have to select the channels. I think the channels are gonna be more or like that. Okay. We could do it in multiple angle, like multiple rotation channel, but I do it usually like based on two channels, with the X and the Y, for example. So all we have to do at this point, once we have the channel selected, which is on the controller, yeah, you should be able to click on a select object is not in. Okay, so let me demonstrate what happened here. After I moved, let me go back to bind pose. After I moved my controller to 90, actually 90 on the negative value, and I was able to click on the mesh only and then create the correct shape with -1 on the y-axis. So this is going to create a driver for me. Now I can come in with my brush, you know, and kind of like make it look realistic as much as possible. You know, and it would eventually work. That looks. I could also use the sculpting tool better and just kind of like move things instead of like trying to brush them. It gives me like a lot of control, you know, and now it looks more realistic. See how that is, and I could also smooth underneath, above, clean some of the issues that skin weight was not able to do. You know? Yeah. And once I'm satisfied, I can click apply. Now, whenever I move the arm up and down, I get the right result. So let's go ahead and bring it back to 0. Okay, but don't go negative, because negative is not supported, so it's gonna do you harm than good. You might want to come with the skin weight and see those issues that you have here. You might want to kind of like fix them this way. You don't get that anymore. You still have to like modify the existing correct shape. You might want to come to the neck area and probably like add some effect here a little bit, so you could enforce the neck to be in charge. Go back to bind pose and mirror. So this is for like a AAA kind of like, you know, game that you want it to like, you know, behave really good. You want your character to be nice looking, the backpack to feel realistic and whatnot. Oh, that is done that way. So if we go back to what we originally had, which is we had so many bugs with that program before, man. It was not cool, but now it's actually working like a piece of cake. That's good. Alright, so we can modify so we can edit. Let's see if we can edit. I wonder if we have to do something more than we just I don't see anything. Is there any menu popping out? But I don't see it because I don't see anything. Okay, so go to bind pose, click on edit. I don't see. Where is it? There was supposed to be a graph here, but I don't see it. Maybe let's move this back where it was. Not sure how that works, but okay, anyways, like if the modifier, it never freaking works. So oh yeah, you have to right click. Okay, angle 1. And then I can come back and modify this issue, which is, thank God this thing works, man. You have no idea. It was not working for years. Thank God. Okay, so it works. That's great, and now I can apply, and it is already mirrored. So if I grab this one now and rotate it up to -9, I should have it mirrored, but it's not mirrored. Really? Angle rotation, not mirrored, even though it is supposed to be mirrored. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that and mirror it. It's not mirroring. There's always that missing, you know, cake to this plugin. I just don't understand why. It's always like that. I'm not sure, maybe like I'm supposed to uncheck mirror. Okay. Anyways, I just wanted to show that, and we go back to bind pose. Can't even go back to bind pose until we exit. Okay, definitely, yeah. That part of the plugin is kind of broken, and the developer seems to struggle with it a lot. But if you did everything right to begin with, like all you have to do is just move the channels correctly. Don't do too crazy things with it. Just 2 channels at a time. That's all you need to have a correct shape anyways, right? And then basically you just create the correct shape. You don't have to fix that area. So, and before you even do any of that, what you do is come in here, fix that skin weight issue that you had before. Which is somewhere around here. Not sure how we fixed it, but we fixed it. We managed to fix it with that broken neck area. We managed to do a better job when we had it like this. Okay, so the shoulder, for the right shoulder, we should have no effect at all in that area. Okay, which we don't. That's great. Now if we mirror this, we should be good to go. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and create that correct shape again. -90. Did I put -90 on the scale? -90. Okay, and isolate. Let's go ahead and create the correct shape. Okay, so definitely, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix the skin weight with this first. So let's hide the clothes for now. Let's just move the arms up like that, and just make sure that none of the skin weight is affected here. Okay, we should probably apply some force here. Like I said, like this is probably your best bet, like having the chest be in control is your best bet. Probably like a sleeve and then smooth it is better than having it think what to do here. Now this, yeah, so it's gonna look like this, but we can fix it, right? And yeah, pretty much we can fix it or not. But keep in mind, when you go negative, when you're doing this and you go negative, it's going to cause issues. So you don't want the shoulder to be in charge of anything here, but you don't really want that. Like you want to try to kind of like keep it in between, but you don't want it. Like, you can't fix this. It's not fixable. So let's go ahead and go back to bind pose, mirror the skin. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and save, and we're gonna do one correct shape to the shoulder on the y-axis, -1, -90. I keep doing that, -90. And let's just go ahead and you see like how everything is like clean and everything. Yeah. Create a correct shape on the -1, and we're gonna hold Control. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. It's not a big deal, right? Okay, just not go too crazy, but like we need to sometime. We need to add that squashed effect that we lost. Yeah, humans are very unique. Like the fact that you're capable of like squashing your shoulder in certain areas and still maintaining the thickness is just very unique. Like when you're an animator and you're looking at this, you're like, wow, how did that work? You know, how is that even possible? Yeah, and then making sure that we don't lose anything. You can smooth in that area just to make sure that we don't lose anything. But don't go too far, don't go to the chest or something. You're not supposed to do that. And then just check mirror and apply. Okay? Now, if I'm correct, and we should have the same result, but sadly, the program is just not really mirroring correctly. I'm not sure why, but you might want to check with the guy that made it. Hopefully he's going to be able to fix it, because it's been like 10 years and it seems like he's having trouble with like a blend shape mirroring. Like, I'm not sure like if this is purposely done or what's going on here, because the blend shape is not even being added even though it's checked mirror. So I'm not sure what to do at this point. But again, like you see, like we applied mirror, but mirror don't work. So he's gonna have to like tell us what's going on here. Maybe we could like send him this video and you know, have him explain to us why is he having trouble with this, because it's not being added. I'm not sure, but as far as I'm concerned, my method works. As far as rigging, none of his tools seems to work the way you expect it to though. Like, so it's like the plugin is very useless. It only creates you a rig, and then you still have to skin weight, and then the correct shape doesn't mirror. I don't want to give any negative feedback, but at this point you kind of made it very obvious that it's not really like needed. You can just rig using the regular rig skeleton and skin weight, and you'll be good enough. I still have an update, so I don't want to judge. So the fact that this release was very bad, maybe because I have an update. So let me go ahead and check online for updates, maybe. About where is the update? There was an update thing here. I think there was a way to update this. Check online for demo updates. That's demo updates. Oh yes, about check for updates. Let's go with 5.9, 5.9.2. So there's 3.2 only. So let's go ahead and update that and see if that would fix our issue. If not, then you're just gonna have to wait until he explains why like some of his tools are not working recently, even though like it's been years. Like those issues seems to not be fixed. You know, I think there might be some kind of maybe premium version that you would have to buy. I'm not really sure, I haven't really checked on the website, but it seems like the free version is always broken. M-Gear on the other hand is always available. We can try that. It's in firmware. I don't hear a lot of people complaining with this, but in the end it's going to be the same workflow, just different tools. As long as that you set up everything correctly, you should be fine. So let's go ahead and try that issue again. 90, and select the mesh, go to correct shapes. Let's close this, close that, and let's create it. Okay, should be straightforward. Okay, and let's fix, you know, fix. Yeah, and just kind of like don't like squash the ugly ones first. I think I found a faster way to fix this. Yeah, and that's what we want. We don't want anything else. Right? You just want to have like a regular arm. You don't even have to clean underneath. But let's just check that issue that we had, you know, with the mirror. This should give us a second arm. Like as soon as we use it, it should give us a second arm. Okay. So we still have the shoulders at this point. It looks nicer than even before. And hopefully when we click apply, it would create the second arm for us, but it seems like it's only creating one. So I'm not sure, maybe the mirror after sculpting shape, then apply mirror. So it never works. Like this mirror thing never works. And I remember at one point I had to like create it manually because of that issue. Maybe I'm not doing this right, maybe not, but I'm pretty sure that you just have to, after you do a blend shape and you want to mirror it, you could even do it here. So left shoulders and right shoulders, they're not connected, dude, you know, they're just not connected. And look at this. This is what I did, and this is what I have on the right one. So something is wrong with this plugin, even though, let me show you how easy this is. If we just copy the names, right? Copy the name and then delete this one, duplicate this, and then right click and mirror target. Okay. Which is, you're just gonna have to pick the negative x-axis and press apply. Check this out. Now, okay, so this is what we have, right? So if we duplicate it, we get this, and then right click here and flip on the x-axis. Okay. I think the problem might be Maya. Why would it do that? Oh yeah, it's because it's not supposed to be applied right now. It's supposed to be applied on the controller. So if we put like 90, -90 here, okay, and then we turn that up, then we get the same result, you see? But the channels are not controlling this. The controllers are not being created. Their shape is just being duplicated. And then you would have to connect the shapes. to the controllers, which is I found it very yeah, so they're not really cool that way. I think is because like you would have to turn the arm back up, set the controllers, and then assign the blend shapes, and then do whatever that is. Like you see here, like if you see this value is blue, and that's because it's assigned there is a key set to a correct shape, which is this one right here. This FK shoulder R it has a controller setup for it. I could probably create this main, but that's the issue with this plugins, is that it seems that to always lack features like this that is just very necessary, and it will take you longer to work around it. If you don't know what you're doing, like you would not even know that the shapes are even created, but then the keys are not set. For you to do this, I can show you how to set, the keys for this manually for the time being. But I still don't think it should be a big deal for the application or the add-on to do it, because he's able to create the shape, and that problem has been around since 2014, so it's definitely not an issue. Maybe someone needs to report this to him. Hopefully I'm doing that right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can still create them, and you don't really need to connect them, because inside the engine we could still have them we can still have them. One second, maybe. No. FK controller, and then the mesh. No. Yeah. It doesn't really matter, because as long as that you have the shape, you can still use that shape inside of the game engine. So for games you really don't need it, but for inside Maya, your character is gonna look really weird. His half side is gonna be broken. So that is kind of annoying. Here's my what you call it? Go to pose, and yeah, you're gonna have to turn this always off. Okay, so with this we managed to create the correct shapes for the shoulder. Keep in mind that this is gonna have to be animated manually, so for this to be 90 as well, if you like it as is, then it's fine. If you don't, then go ahead and create a correct shape for it. This one cannot do 40, the max is 45 on backward, which is clean, and then negative is good. It's not bad. So we managed to create only one correct shape that fixed the shoulder, and that was pretty much it. Let's go ahead and save this. This is actually useful, even though the app didn't really help us to create those controllers. But still, though, I could still use it in the engine. I don't have to create it in here. Yeah, and for the legs, the same thing. Let's go ahead and test it. Boom. Okay, that's good, right? Okay. You can always like smooth things if we don't like them. Like for example on here, we can check this and just smooth it a bit if it needs any smoothing. Always go with the root, bring some stuff back in to enforce, you know, that stay. Yeah. And this is as best as it gets with yeah. See? Now if we went ahead and go back to bind pose and then scan, mirror scan. By the way, when we use the mirror scan again by accident, we forgot that the mouth area is now broken. So I would just recommend it to keep it broken until you're actually ready to go, because like it would always like break on you because of the symmetry. I wish there was a way that we could like freeze certain areas to prevent this, but there's also a nice way of doing skin weight. Go to selection, go to vertex mode, select those vertices that you think are causing you issues, and just use the hammer. Yeah, just use the hammer, and then if it doesn't work, you could go back to paint mode and yeah, you're still gonna have to like clean things up no matter what you do. So I would recommend not play with this until you're fully done with the character and you know you're not going to mirror anything anymore. But you're always going to come up with like issues. So the mouth should be the last thing that you do, because you don't want to keep doing this over and over. And keep in mind, we haven't really done the teeth yet. So there is also teeth in this area. So if we opened it, the teeth is not going to look right, you see? So the best thing to do here is that to isolate this, I would go to selection mode. I would select this whole area, press the grow selection button, and then the grow selection button. And then what I would do is go from the front view, press F, isolate, and I'm gonna go ahead and deselect this area completely. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, just, you know, to maintain the shape. And what this did is it gave me like all the vertices up there, and we deselected the vertices down here. Okay, make sure that we don't have any vertices that we don't want to follow what we're doing here right now. Let's check the inside area and we are good. Okay, let's go to component editor and make sure that this part is 100% to the head. So the in head needs to be fully in control of this. So we're gonna put a 1, and what that is gonna do is going to make it like that. Let's just go ahead and use the hammer key on this. Okay, and if you could deselect things that you don't need. Okay, just use the hammer. Okay, just use the hammer on them. They would know where to go. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's how to fix that. For the other thing, I think if we use the hammer, it's not good enough. So we're gonna set that to the jaw. Okay, and give it 1, and then use the hammer. Same thing here. Okay, and we're gonna fix this even more, but just wait for it. So now that we have more control, we can actually assign this section 1, and then you can come back with the painting thing and kind of like smooth things out. You know? But at least you know that this is how your mouth is going to look like. Yeah. It's a little bit tricky in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, it's going to be pretty fun. Okay. No more mirror skin wavy. Okay. Promise me. Alright, I promise. Alright. That's pretty much it for rigging a character. You have one rigged character with a control rig that you can eventually rig it. Animate it inside of Maya, even though the tools are not really helpful in Maya, because like the main focus of a program, a plugin that is created for Autodesk, is going to always be the money key here. And I'm pretty sure that this plugin has been out for like 14 years. You would still expect it to work and behave better, like not like come back after 10 years and see the same issue. It is very, very sad, especially for something very small like this. Just a blend shape being mirrored, that I just showed you how to mirror it without even having to use the tool. So at this point, it's just a control rig. It is useful in ways. However, the fact that some of those features don't work, it makes it very hard to work with it. You still have to create the blend shapes. Like you might want to consider like making this a cloth, or following the not following the skin layer more, but probably a blend shape for it as well would make it really cool and really realistic. The arms is never gonna be that high. The arms is gonna always be around like this area, like that area, which is okay, from that perspective it's okay, right? And then from that perspective it's fine, right? So when you're getting up, so it's gonna be okay as long as that you don't lift it all the way up. But if you lift it all the way up, then you're gonna have to face some challenges on how to make things more professional looking. So that's pretty much it. Let's just go ahead and adjust your controllers. For example, like this is very useful for shoulders control. So you would just move it around here, and just to make sure that we don't do anything funny here, let's also move this as well, like that, so you can see it. And then if you just go to controllers and then right to left, you would have the same effect on the other side. The elbow is not centered here is because we had to sacrifice that to have a better orientation for the arm. So sometimes looking good is not what you always want. Okay. Again, and that's pretty much it. Rigging for Unreal. Let me know if you guys need anything else, like animation tutorials for game engines. I'll be happy to make you guys that, since I'm always like working anyways, and I'm gonna be probably not doing that character, but other characters in the future I'll be animating. But for now, this character is just rigging, so we just covered rigging on here, and I think we went over most of the tools that you could use from this. You don't have to rig with this, like I said, you only need the skeleton inside of the game, but if you're going to be applying any correct shapes and stuff, the correct shape system doesn't work on here. So you just want to basically create blend shapes. So this is what you do. You basically come in here, create a new shape, okay, new group, whatever, and then in here you would add a shape to it and then name it to like left shoulder, right shoulder, you know, and then you put the angle. The angle is going to be this and that, right? So you would know like this is for whenever I move the shoulder up, you know, or whatnot, and then record it. Record whatever adjustment you make, and then unclick that button, and you have another shape to work with. So creating shapes shouldn't be a problem. You don't need any tools to do that. Pretty much in Maya, you don't need anything to do anything. You could use Maya straight out of the box and not have any problems at all. I usually do that for my characters, and because like I don't need the control rig. I have like a rig that I made myself, and then I just move it around. I have like a script that would automatically like reorient my skeleton, and another script that would create all the correct blend shapes for me with one script. You could probably look into how to program in Python. Maybe I could show you some Python codes or Mel codes that you could use that would help you work faster. Alright, that covers it. You guys have